The time is now 5:58, and I call this special meeting of the Freeport Economic Development Corporation to order. Mark, can you do our pledge, and then Ken, can you do our invocation, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Father, we come to you here this afternoon thanking you for everything that you do for us in our lives and in our city. Be with us right now as we discuss the need of our mowing contract, and just let us look to you for guidance and wisdom. In Christ's name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Okay, we'll go ahead and move on to number 3, citizen comments. Did we have any citizen comments submitted?
We did not have any submitted.
Okay, all right. Seeing none, we'll go ahead and move on to number 4, discussion and action items. And we're going to discuss and take possible action on the mowing bids.
Yes, Mr. Boots.
Mr. President, we have 4 bids, as you know, from various, and who couldn't make it tonight?
Greg Fields with the, Gulf Coast, it's number 4.
Greg Fields could not make it tonight. And Gardner Campbell couldn't make it either.
Okay, thank you.
Greg is with Gulf Coast Mow and Wash.
Okay. So are we going to have the 2 that are here just come up? Okay, all right. We'll start at the top with Grassmaster. Good evening.
Evening.
Hey.
Thank you for having us this evening. You want me to just dive right in?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. We currently have the contract now to take care of all the EDC's properties for mowing, any of the lawn care. We came out of a non-growing season, and during that non-growing season, everybody's got grass. Everybody knows what happens when it doesn't grow; it stunts. And then we went immediately into the growing season, which happened overnight, it seemed like. And we've been doing our best to get caught up. But when we can only mow once a week or once every other week, it makes it tough to get whipped back into shape, if you will. But that's what we've been doing. We have the manpower and the equipment currently, and that's what we're in the process of doing now. We are confident that the bid that we submitted is an attractive one for the board to look at, and we think that the community would very much appreciate the bid that we've got submitted, as opposed to where we brought it from.
Yeah.
From what it was in the past to what we've been able to accomplish with our service, and also with the attractiveness of the cost of what we're charging.
Okay. I had a question. I guess based on conversation amongst the board and citizens, I guess my only reservation, and this isn't from me because I haven't seen it firsthand. I'm not in those parts of town very often. There seemed to be some, I guess, reservations about the quality of work that was being received, and I just wanted to ask, based on what you said tonight, it sounds like the stipulations in the contract may have contributed to that, because you mentioned like it being difficult if you're restricted to doing like once every other week, as opposed to whenever it just starts to look bad. Is that what you were implying?
So that's an issue, the restrictions that we have. So for example, at home you can cut your grass anytime you want. You can keep up with the Joneses, if you will. And with being under contract here, it is slightly challenging to keep up with not the quality of work, but the intervals in which we're cutting. And because of that, it does allow growth, and it's not attractive. We did, again, come out of the winter season, and it was dormant. And while it was dormant, you've got a lot of other little weeds and the little unattractive things that do come up around the edges that are difficult to do when we're only cutting once a month.
Okay.
So going back into the summer where we're cutting, or the growing season rather, where we are cutting multiple times a month, that quality will be brought back the same as it was when we took over the account to begin with.
Okay. Okay.
We are currently in the process as we speak of doing that.
Yeah. So I guess maybe we could do this later, but Robert, can you just make a note to maybe in the contract, like include, and I don't know if this is like some flexibility there, I guess, for, I guess, their discretion, whoever ends up getting the bid, like mower's discretion of just seeing, you know, kind of what it looks like.
I can make that
you know what I
note.
mean?
I think that, how can I put this in technical terms? I think that the old contract was a lot more loosey-goosey.
Okay.
And I think that we have a draft contract that Olson and Olson wrote us that's a lot more firm on the timelines. And I think having a contract that's got stipulations stated is going to go a long way for the quality of the
okay.
work. The old contract, which was written by our old legal counsel, is rather vague, and leaves a lot to interpretation.
Okay, thank you. All right, sorry, we got off topic.
No problem.
Did anybody else have any questions?
What other clients do you do work for?
So we currently work for the city of Galveston. We work for D.R. Horton, Lennar. We do heavy landscaping and mowing for D.R. Horton and Lennar and the city of Galveston. Of course, the Freeport EDC. We've got several commercial accounts that are much smaller, chain of donut shops, Shipley's, to be frank. And we don't focus on residential. We only focus on commercial, heavy commercial, and that's all we do is grass. We don't deviate. We mow. We mow and we hydroseed, which is replanting.
Okay, appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, no questions? All right, thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, we'll go ahead and move on to At Ease Services.
Hey, how gentlemen doing?
Good, how are
Joe
you?
Garcia, Addy Services. And I guess I'll leave it up to you as far as questions before I get into mine.
Okay, you wanted to entertain questions?
No, I just
first?
listened to the gentleman's talk as far as the intervals. You know, it's making sure that we're all in agreement with the intervals between cuts, as far as dictating which, you know, if it's up to us as far as when it needs to be cut, as far as the timeline and everything else, just making sure we're pinpointing those so there's no ambiguity or anything like that where you're not seeing a quality of service. Because myself and this gentleman right here, I don't know the gentleman, but I'm pretty sure we pride ourselves on services.
Yeah.
So we got a service and a standard that we live by, so we just want to make sure that we're meeting that standard. So, but go ahead, sir.
Okay. We were just kind of wanting you to come up and tell us about your business and kind of iterate to us why we should go in your direction with the mowing
So
services.
we're at E-Services. We just don't do mowing. We do brush clearing, land clearing, tree removal, dumpster rental, equipment rental. So we do a wide range of stuff, but at the same time, our standards don't anywhere dip off any services that we provide. With that being said, I know some of the properties that are overviewed. Some of them do have trees. Some of them do have other stuff that needs to be maintained. We're just looking for that additional service. If y'all needed something else besides the mowing, then we could be that potential client that would knock everything out for you as well.
Okay.
We do cater to commercial and residential at the same time. So our standards are pretty high as far as meeting everybody's expectation. We found that the residential's a little bit tougher to deal with because it is standards. You know, you can't cut the grass the same way as somebody else, just like you can't clean the house the way somebody else does. But that's what we do. So it's first time ever coming up and presenting as far as for the EDC and the contract. But we're ready. We got the manpower. We got the equipment. And as far as brush clearing, mowing, edging up, blowing, pressure washing, whatever needs to get done, let us know. And we hope to be that company.
Would this be bi-weekly, bi-monthly?
This,
I don't see that out here on your,
this is, as far as the price estimates? Is that
Yeah.
what you're referring to, sir?
yes.
This would be anytime we got to go out there. So if we got to go out there weekly, bi-weekly, we didn't know the terms and guidelines as far as that. So this is a visitation for us to go out there. And if it's bi-weekly, this would be the prices, like I said, every other week. Yes, sir. So this is our prices for each visit, which would be the easiest way to explain it.
Joe explained to me the fallen limbs, trash pickup, anything outside of mowing and weeding. What's that?
I'm sorry, say it again, sir?
I noticed that you have here in your notes, it says fallen limbs, trash pickup, anything outside of mowing and weeding, 200 an hour.
200 an hour. I got, maybe you have a different copy than I got. I got what I submitted in the sign as far as acres per hour and heavy equipment and hand labor. I don't see 200 an hour on my, maybe it got misconstrued.
Oh, yeah, we have, it's under extra fees for us, 200 an hour.
Okay, that is not,
Oh,
I guess,
okay.
maybe it got misconstrued, but
Oh,
no.
okay. So-
Extra fees would be anything as far as additional, if we have to go on there and weed an excess amount, trash pickup, if there's a lot of excess trash, and that's what we charge 25 an hour for just general labor.
Okay.
25 an hour?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
And what's some of your clients that you have?
We currently did work for the city of Freeport for the overgrown, Miss Vasquez, I believe, where they would call and notify us of overgrown lots. So we did take care of those during the winter months. We haven't got the notification of anything yet, but City of Lake Jackson, we're currently working with them, trying to get a bid for the utility mowing as well. And then everything is kind of residential from there.
So you have a contract with the city of Freeport?
We did do some mowing with them. We did kind of the same bid where we say, hey, this is our prices, and we can take care of the overgrown lots. The same 3-day notification we would get, and then we would go out there and cut the lots.
Did anyone else have any questions for Mr. Garcia? Mark, you good? Okay, all right, thank you.
Thank you.
And just to mention, we have Gardner Campbell's bid, and underneath the bi-monthly, that's 2,000, and then, which would be 4,000 a month. And then Gulf Coast Mow and Wash LLC, and they are at 700 a month bi-monthly, and then that's 1,400 each month. And Robert, could we, there's no executive session on this agenda. Oh, okay.
No, and we were specifically told that by legal counsel.
Oh, okay, to leave it off?
There's no executive session that we can go into,
Oh, okay, okay. All
because
right.
we're not negotiating a grant.
Oh, okay, all right. Okay. Well, does anybody have any motions or,
I make a motion, we accept Grassmasters.
okay. There's been a motion for Grassmasters. Is there a second? I'll go ahead and second it so that we can open it up for debate and discussion. We have a motion on the floor for Grassmasters by Ronnie, and then I seconded it. And let's discuss that. Is there any debate or discussion?
Okay. I went and I looked at all the properties that had to be mowed. I've done it on 2 different occasions. Robert, you've been there with some. You know, when I when I take care of my house, I take care of it like it's mine, right? And, you know, I try to do the best job I can, you know, maintaining everything, you know, the flower beds, and got to do that because Mama gets on my case. And some of the properties, I was a little bit disjointed because we didn't take care of them, especially on the edges. Over by the river, I would entertain that was not done properly, in my estimation. And I mean, Matt, I'm not saying anything about, you know, whatever. I'm just looking at what I'm seeing, that it probably doesn't look like my front yard. And I'm not saying that it needs to be perfect, but it needs to be at least tidy. I mean, there was trash all along that one side. I went and looked at the two other properties. Same thing, very little edging done. And I know that's a big expense to you guys. You know, it's tough. And I just wasn't that pleased with it. And you know, that's just my thoughts.
No, thank you. Was there any more debate or discussion on that?
I believe we'll have a tighter contract this time, right?
Yes, we will. I think, if I can editorialize a little bit, I think that some of the problems stem from the lack of a tight contract. We do, and I apologize, I didn't include the sample contract that we have, but we had our attorney write us one back in November, I believe it was.
Yeah, I remember the
Somewhere
meeting, but I
it was
don't
way
remember
back.
the details.
Yes, and it's very detailed and very tight. I think, if I could say so, I think that having a closer working relationship with the mower would be advantageous to us. You know, I don't want to spend all my time out there inspecting mowing, but I think we could take a little more time to do that, and under a clearer contract, know exactly what we're getting. I'd also like to know, I would ask the board, if you go ahead and go with Grassmasters, that we have a personal relationship with whomever it is that is working in mowing our lawn, because I believe you have a staff, or,
Yes. Yeah, we are staff.
okay,
Yeah, it's not subbed out. It's in-house.
okay.
So we could have someone assigned to us that we can speak to when we have a problem.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, me directly.
Okay, and if,
It would go directly to me and it would be resolved instantly.
can we have it in the contract where if we need to call back to have something cleaned up,
We
it's
can
just
have
part of
that.
the job?
That can be added to a contract.
That's a good point. Excellent, excellent. Another added thing, for the 4 houses, the 2 dilapidated guys that we're hopefully probably gonna demo, are we gonna mow that place or not?
We have received permission. That was a little bit of a weird situation, because
I understand.
we were told we could not touch that property when I first came on board, that was not for us, and that it was the city that was responsible for it, and then it was the litigation was.
Litigation
so I was
piece,
just confused
right.
in the whole thing. But it is in the, or it was in the properties that we showed as far as what needs to be mowed. So if it's not being mowed right now, it will be mowed, because it's in the estimate.
So my question is, you know, Matt, that property's got some growth all around the edges. It's pretty messed up, and it's gonna take some time to fix that. Is that still part of this $1,000?
Yeah, that's definitely something that we would tackle going back into it. I know, again, with the loose contract that we had, it was pretty whimsical. And then with the litigation you spoke of with who was supposed to be mowing it, there was too many decisions that were in the air, that were decisions that I couldn't make and we couldn't get into.
Right, I understand.
But yes, to answer your question directly, yes, that would essentially get all cleaned back up again
Okay.
and knocked back down to the 2 inches.
Going by the river, you gonna take care of my river?
We'll take care of the river.
All right.
I love that river too.
Yeah.
All right. Any other debate or discussion on this motion? Okay, we can go ahead and vote. And just a reminder, the motion is to retain Grassmasters for our lawn care services. And that was by Ronnie, and then I seconded it. All right, all those in favor, state aye. Aye. All opposed, state nay.
Nay.
Motion passed 3-1. All right, that takes us to number 5, adjournment. Is there a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion.
All right, motion by Ronnie. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
All right, motion to adjourn by Ronnie, second by Ken. All those in favor, state aye.
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 All opposed, state nay. Meeting adjourned at 6:18 p.m.
We're gonna keep leaving you hanging when you ask us to adjourn for some reason.
Usually